Let's get in drag and talk about drag. Hi, I'm Trixie Mattel. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're just gonna get in drag. We're done with touring for the year. We're back in my house. We're back in the lovely studio. And I finished touring the world in drag, apparently at the perfect moment, because now drag is being treated as a criminal act. And today we're gonna get ready and have fun and keep it light, but without being too politically involved. I just want to get in drag and talk about, from me, hi, if you're new to this channel, I'm a drag queen and I've been doing drag for 15 years. Let's just, while we get ready, talk about some of the bizarre inconsistencies going on in legislation in this country. But let's try to keep it light. Let's get in drag. Honestly, the best political statement is to put on that wig and that makeup and let those whores have it. And so that's what we're about to do today. So I'm gonna glue it on my brows. I'm gonna start foundation. I'm not doing any new foundation tricks today, but I have a bunch of new other products here to try. So I'm gonna come back with my brows gone and just skin on, and I'm gonna look like a creep, and we'll be right back. Now, I kind of started to highlight, and you know, if you are somebody very conservative who finds this video and you look at me right now, I understand that it looks like Voldemort, but I can assure you that drag queens aren't even 1/10 as evil. Listen, I've been doing my brows first, which is crazy, because if you guys have been watching the channel, I do my own sound effects now. You know that I normally do the eyes first, but lately I've been trying to control the size of my eyes. And if you watched like the video where I revealed my #1 Barbie, I was so in love with that makeup. And I was like, what's different about it? I was like, oh, it's very small. And so I've been trying to shrink it all down because I'm trying to appeal to the more conservative. No, I don't care. I'm just trying to feel beautiful. I have this Urban Decay Brow Beater pencil. Bitch, it eats up the other girls. It is Brow Beater. Wait, is this new? Wait a minute, this is not the brow blade. Oh, it's new. It's a new, it's a different product. This is a different product. I'm gonna go get the brow blade. Wow. Well, you know that this drag queen's not gonna read at the fucking library because I can't read. I have my brow blade here. I will try that brow beater. I'm just scared. So I'm gonna try this brow blade. You guys know I'm obsessed with it. So I guess I'll let you know a little bit about what my experience with drag is before I start talking at you, because I am an expert. I'm just gonna be honest. I'm an expert in drag. I've been doing drag a very long time. And everyone shut up. I'm an expert, but I need absolute silence while I do this. I'm an expert and I'm already panicking. Doesn't look like much. I've been trying to go lighter with my brows, especially on video. I don't like to go too crazy. I love these though, because I can sketch the shape with my pencil, clean with my concealer, and then I have a marker on the other end to do all the detail work. It's just amazing, amazing product. Products like this are why I can get in drag in like 50 minutes. Welcome back to the Symmetry channel. When we talk about conservatives being afraid of drag queens, I think it is deeply rooted in the fact that my eyebrows are not symmetrical. I think that nobody should trust people with asymmetrical eyebrows, and I'm that person. So I feel weird commenting on things like drag legislation, only because you're an audience of people who like drag. So I do feel like, what am I yelling into an echo chamber of other people who agree with me? And so I feel stupid talking about things like this because you guys at home watching this, you already like drag. Like, I don't have to convince you. But none of this should be about whether or not drag is something everyone should like. It shouldn't be about whether or not drag is something everyone even accepts. It should be about whether or not something is really about protecting anyone, not just children, anyone. Right now in Tennessee, I can get a gun and carry it around in public, but I can't put on a fucking wig. On my second offense of doing drag in Tennessee, I could become a felon. A felon. And as a white, rich drag queen, that scares me. How do you think that people of color and trans women who are people of color who do drag feel? I mean, they might not get a fucking second chance because police do not treat those people the same. You know, loving Jane Fonda, my first thought was, I'm gonna fly to Tennessee and get arrested. And I was like, well, that's my privilege, being like, let's get arrested. I just have such an issue with all of this. I think about it every morning, every day, and every night. I think about it every time I'm in drag now, every time I'm on stage. It's just impossible to not focus on it, but like, it's impossible to not think about it. You guys, I've been doing drag 15 years. When I started doing drag 15 years ago, it was kind of safer and more legal than it is now. How is that happening? How are we moving backwards? And one of the main things, if you're conservative and watching this, if you're some asshole from a conservative news who's gonna clip parts of this, I hope you fucking clip this part, because listen to me carefully. I have no reason to tell you this other than to tell you the truth on the internet. Drag is so diverse. It's so unique and special and different. Everybody who does drag does it differently. Everyone does it for different reasons. And so there is no way to legislate all drag is this. I'm here to tell you that I can't even say all drag is good. All drag is not even interesting to me. Like, to say all drag is bad for kids is to say all movies is bad for kids. All music is bad for kids. I guess I want to start this conversation by saying that I think people give drag too much credit. Like, I know drag queens. I've worked with drag queens for 15 years. Drag queens can't even make it to stage on time. They can't even get their music on a USB. Drag queens are not plotting. Drag queens are only plotting how they're gonna get to the gig, how they're gonna make some money by doing the least work possible, and where they're gonna go with their friends after the show. I mean, that's all that's on their mind. It's really insane that people think that drag queens after shows sit around like a Risk board game map, and they're like, what do we do now? How do we take over? Like, not even, bitch, not even. Isn't that calming? I think sculpting out the brow is like the most magical part of drag. And I just want to say too, my only interest in talking about this today on this channel is personal, and I don't speak for everyone, I only speak for myself. Everything I'm talking about is just my own experience doing drag. I represent somebody whose act as a drag queen, my personal act, is for adults. It's raunchy, it's dirty, it's sex, drugs, and rock and roll. You know, you couldn't pay me enough money to go to the library in a wig and read to children. It's just not my gig. I'm not interested in it. I'm not interested in it at all. Everybody who knows me and follows me on this channel knows how I feel about children. I have no interest in performing for children. Personally, I have no interest in being around children, doing a show for children, censoring a track for children, pulling back on a joke for children. That does not interest me at all, because personally, I enjoy drag because it's ultimate freedom, not restriction. And when it's family friendly, you do drag family friendly. I don't do family friendly drag. And that's where we have to talk about like what are we restricting? And is there a way to restrict anything without restricting everyone? You know, people act like drag queens march into their living rooms and force their children to watch lip syncing. That is not happening. You'll never accidentally walk into a drag show. I go to gay bars and I never accidentally see drag shows. Like, that doesn't happen. These are the weirdest eyebrows I've ever done on this channel, and I'm just gonna roll with it. The one day I try to assert my professionalism as a drag queen, everything goes south. I'm gonna sketch around the other brow and come back, okay? I know I'm kind of all over the place, but for us to talk about this, by the way, I'm gonna switch to this Maybelline Tattoo Studio Liquid Eyeliner, Smooth and Glide Saturated Color in Jet Black. I'm excited to try this. I, in the past, love those Maybelline Studio eyeliners, so I think I'm gonna like this. Let's see how black this is. Let's just try it. Nice and black, nice and precise. A little smaller than usual. Again, I've just been experimenting with going a little smaller. Nice and black. I mean, how a liquid liner performs over wet foundation, I think says a lot about how it is. This is a really nice application. I think so far, a lot of the conversation around this has been about limiting drag. It's about what happens to drag? What's gonna happen to drag queens? In what ways are we limited? In what ways are we in danger? We have to talk about two other things that are much more affected by this. One, most obvious and most dangerous thing here, trans people. Because what is drag? There's no definition to that. So let's say you are a trans female and you are out at a straight establishment with one of your friends and you have a little bit of fake hair in. Maybe you're wearing some lashes. The uneducated, random, like conservative news watcher might be like, oh, it's a drag queen. Like, call 911. This could happen. This will happen. This will happen. Drag queens are not gonna be as affected by this as people who walk around in the world in expressions of gender that are not exactly what's traditional. Let's say you're a woman in a suit and you have your hair slicked back and you're at a bar, Bruno Mars comes on the radio and you just start dancing with your friends and lip syncing. Are you now a drag king? Are you gonna get cited with a misdemeanor? This is real. This really will happen. I don't see people barging into drag shows. I see this affecting normal people, women who wear pants. This is gonna all creep and get crazier and crazier. The other group this is going to affect the most, and don't make me get heated before I mess up this eyeshadow because I can mess this up in a good mood. So let's try to like de-escalate before I start screaming and holding a brush like this. My other biggest issue here is, let's say you're a gay bar. I know from Trixie Motel in Palm Springs, California, a very accepting town of drag. A drag queen owns a motel there. It's hard to get and keep a liquor license, right? For businesses, liquor licenses are the way you make money. I mean, not to be gauche, but the markup in alcohol is how a restaurant might actually make money, not even the food. I mean, alcohol sales are what keeps doors open. If you're a gay bar, and by someone coming in a wig, if you get cited and your liquor license gets taken away, I think something like 90% of gay bars have closed in the past 10 years in the world. That lingering 10%, now every time somebody walks into their bar in drag, they have to be afraid of losing their license. So now we're gonna run into theaters, gay bars, establishments where if somebody who presents in any way, not even drag, if somebody who presents in a gender other than what the person perceives as what they should be, they might get asked to leave. Just because a well-meaning business who maybe has compassion is like, we can't lose our liquor license. You can't be here. This is gonna happen. That's what makes it really hard. Good-meaning people who don't agree with these bills, in order to keep their dojo open and protect their licenses, they're gonna have to do horrible things like ask a drag queen to leave or ask a trans person to leave. This is gonna happen. It's gonna be already happening. When you really think about this, the repercussions really have no end. You guys, I'm getting distracted because this Glamlight Barbie palette, not to keep it positive, this is beautiful. This came in PR a while ago and I haven't figured out what I want to do with it, but I gotta get into these purples. I think I gotta get into these purples. I'm just gonna get into this Just Vibes color and get it started. That's what I really worry about. I worry about how much this is gonna affect normal people, because drag queens, I don't want to speak for all of us, we will persevere. Drag queens will always find a way to dress up and act foolish. Drag queens were doing this long before it was allowed. And so it becoming semi not allowed again, that's not gonna change what we do. I mean, it's not gonna happen. Get real. I'm afraid of how this is gonna affect normal people. Trans people, people who dress as another gender. I mean, I don't wanna say where. On my tour, we have a merch gentleman who wears dresses. He wears dresses. We had security staff just like pointing and laughing at him. That already happens besides this law. Like that already happens to people. See, the government might disappoint me, but like Glamlight will never let me down. The other issue here is, let's talk about what we really mean. Because there's no way to really restrict drag, you can close every gay bar in this country. I guarantee you on Saturday, when Saturday Night Live comes on, somebody's gonna be dressed, some girl's gonna be a man. I'm on YouTube in your kid's pocket on their iPhone right now. You can't restrict that. The reason people come to drag shows is because they already love it from watching it online and on television. What are you gonna do, remove televisions? Well, then they'll have phones. You're gonna remove electricity? Like, what are we doing? I can tell you guys, in drag, children never even cross my mind. Children don't have jobs. They can't give me any money. I mean, obviously that's a satirical statement, but it's also true. Like, but me having a potty mouth on stage doesn't mean that some drag queen in a full coverage gown who wants to read to kids at the library, that shouldn't restrict them. Me being a disgusting monster on stage should not mean that everybody you ever see in a wig is inappropriate for children. That's psycho. Because if you see kids at the library being read to in drag, you better not come to my show and expect me to read a fucking book. Like, that doesn't affect me. Drag is everybody's so different. Like I said, my main concern is because drag is not definable. The way this is enforced is gonna be completely up to interpretation. If Tyler Perry tours as Medea in Tennessee, I guarantee you, no one will try to put him in jail. I mean, because when straight people dress up for drag, no one cares. This bill is really designed to attack trans people and queer people. That's what it's designed to do. The only confirmed place where men in dresses groom children for sex is churches. It's churches. But you know what, the hypocrisy, I can't even like get into it because there is no data to support any of this. But when we look at this group of people, it's never been about data. Never been about science, truth, data. Because at the end of the day, someone can go like, but God, like, okay. And I don't want to throw everybody religious under the bus. You know, I have some really great, very faithful people in my life. And you know, I have a musician who used to play for me. And one time I was like, can I ask you a question about God? And he said, yes, anything. Of course, what do you want to know? And I said, you really believe in God? And he said, yeah. And I said, well, why do you play for me? Why are you, does that bother you? And he said, well, the loudest and the most like hateful Christians get the most airtime on television. And so I also feel bad for people who are religious because the craziest, loudest ones of you get the most play. So those of you who just are very accepting but have a religion you care about, you get slapped with this sticker of being the enemy. And I really don't believe that everybody religious hates gay people, hates drag. I feel bad that these people, they get lumped in. But you can lump me in as somebody who fucks up their makeup a lot, because this is starting to look like I can't guarantee that everything's always gonna be easy for queer people, but I can guarantee you that I'm gonna fuck up my makeup on this channel. This is pretty though. I will say, isn't this color beautiful? This like purple? I have a bunch of colors here. So far I've been getting into this Just Vibes color and this Chillin'. That's basically what I've done. I kind of want to pivot to blue for the bottom. I don't think I've ever done a look like that on this channel. But let's try it. What's the worst that can happen? Throw me in jail? Well, don't throw me in jail. But I guess the real takeaway today is there's a lot of different types of drag. There's really squeaky clean. There's drag that bores me because it is so kid friendly. I'm like, this is not my thing. The other thing is, I mean, I don't want to name names, but we keep seeing these conservative politicians being caught in their lies. We catch them in drag. We catch them in the middle of the night liking thirst traps from queer people. You notice we never catch queer people like up late liking a conversion therapy post. Like it never goes the other way. The hypocrisy never goes the other way. This is beautiful. I'm an incredible artist. By the way, if you are watching this and you're conservative, not all drag queens ping pong on their self-worth so publicly. That's just me. My other concern, and this is a bummer, because like there are so many drag shows that are family friendly. And my concern used to always be, I'm afraid that really kid-friendly drag is going to confuse audiences to come see me and then be like, oh my God, earmuffs on the kid, we gotta get out of here. Because that has happened and the parents take the kids out right away because they think it's gonna be family friendly and it isn't. But lately, my bigger concern now is, I hope that audiences who've seen me don't think that that's what the family drag queens do. You know, I'm more nervous now that me being a disgusting potty mouth in drag makes people think that every drag queen is, you know, rotted. I'm my own little rotted piece of work. Don't think everybody in a wig is doing that. Gorgeous. These are pretty. Dream Chaser and Imagine. You guys, the quality of these shadows. Look at I'm really not self-tanned right now. Look at that zero fallout, you guys. Isn't that amazing? Nice. And that's why I do my foundation wet, because it just grabs. I want to acknowledge that I didn't grow up religious, and so I have a very uncomplicated point of view with these things. My mom, who's been on the channel, give it up for Val. When I was really young, I remember being like, you know, I'm from a small town and all the other kids on Wednesdays would go to catechism. Is that the word? Whatever, the Jesus classes. And I remember asking my mom, how come I don't go to church? I was afraid, am I a bad person? Am I going to hell because I don't have a religion? And I remember my mom being like, why would I tell you what religion you're gonna be before you're old enough to decide for yourself? Which is, I understand, a very unpopular experience. Most people their religion gets chosen for them by their parents when they're really young. My mom was always like, I'm not gonna tell you what religion you are. You can go figure that out for yourself. But I don't wanna be funny, but like, also truly show me the documented cases of drag queens making children gay, making them do drag. These are events that have never happened. Never happened. But this is what happens in politics now. It's like people will vote for one or two things. They'll vote about the abortion thing, or they'll vote about the gay marriage thing. And now drag is getting lumped into that, where people can sweep all of their horrible, underhanded, money-making, filthy politics under a rug. And they can go, but look, drag. Drag is the enemy. It's just a way for people to get away with things. And that's what bothers me. This art form that I've dedicated my life to being used as a scapegoat for monsters to get rich, it makes me physically ill. This is beautiful. Before we get even more heated and I start screaming, I'm gonna do some of my sculpting and come back. I'm gonna take my Makeup Forever palette. You know I live for this shit. I'm gonna do a lot of my contouring and I'm gonna come back. Turned out a little fair today, so I'm gonna go a little darker with the setting powder. This is a little lighter than I prefer to be. But I have my cream blush here from Trixie Cosmetics. This is Doll Face, and I just wanna do a little splash of it on the cheeks. Lately I've been doing this, and I don't even really have to do powder blush if I just do this. I'm gonna go do some setting powder and do like, you know, some of my pressed powder zhuzhing and finish the skin, and then I'm gonna come back. Now that I have some liner on, I don't think the eye is as small as I was afraid it was. Beautiful lash curler. You guys, I love the Trixie Cosmetics lash curler, but I've been using this Barbie Revlon curler. It's really nice. It has like a rubber grip. I am a product junkie, but I do think with lash curlers, if you find something that works for your eyes, work for your lashes, just stick with that curler. I'm using mascara. I still have this Sky High primer. I'm just kind of using it because I have it. I don't know if I'm necessarily like, my life has changed. Remember on the channel when we tried it, it's very thick. I don't know a person who would look good in this and then covering it with mascara. It's just a little crazy, but for drag, it's good. Then I got the real Sky High. I can like see the lashes. That's how much this primer does. I can like see these eyelashes. That's how fat they are. You guys, I'm telling you, I mean, I have no reason to tell you this. It doesn't put money in my pocket. It doesn't do anything. I mean, drag queens are not plotting against you. Unless you make a shitty black eyeliner. In that case, I am plotting against you. I have a whole dossier of makeup brands that have made bad black eyeliners. They better watch their backs. But as far as your children, not really at all. Believe me, when I started doing drag, the older drag queens made it very clear that they did not want new drag queens. Drag queens aren't famous for being welcoming to new drag queens. That we don't even like when gay people do drag. Why would we care if your kid put on a wig? We don't care. We don't care. Because guess what, bitch? Your children are not as interesting to us as they are to you, honey. And that's the tea. The only kids who should be afraid of me are the kids in first class who have iPads. I want to throw it out the window on a plane and be like, you shouldn't have this. You should be able to imagine Cocomelon while you fly on the plane, and you should be in coach. This looks really nice though, isn't that beautiful? This is a different brow color for me. This one's called Soft Brown. I usually use Cafe Kitty. I think this is nice though. So let's pop on some lashes. And then once we do lashes, I think we're gonna know what to do with the lips. And even though the blush is done, I kind of want to put a little more on because I'm a whore. So let's put on some lashes and come right back. You guys, look at that blush. I love cream blush. Why are more people into cream blush? Look how beautiful that is. Do you see how it looks like it's coming from under the skin? Like it looks like flushed skin. Let's do a lip here. I just pulled, I wanna go really simple. This is the Sigma Liquid Lipstick in New Mod from that New Mod palette. Look how beautiful this is. It kind of looks like Junebug from Trixie Cosmetics, but even more neutral. So let's do this. I love this one size sharpener. Patrick, you ate. Because I'm becoming an adult and my facial hair is growing in thicker, and now when I have to draw on lips, I'm drawing over like freshly shaven, stubbled skin, and it's not as easy as it used to be. That pencil, by the way, this is that Make It Forever pencil in Wherever Walnut. Isn't that beautiful? It's a little gray for me, so I'm gonna warm it up. This is Edge to Edge from MAC because it's a little more purpley. That's what I'm gonna color it in with. Look, I wonder why my makeup gets messed up, but look how haphazardly I do it. Scribbling. Gorgeous, beautiful, stunning. That looks pretty good to me. I think it needs a little pop of highlight in the middle, so I'm just gonna take a little bit of white. This is like some real old school drag queen shit. You take some cream white. I don't wanna overdo it on the blush because I would never do that. However, I wanna try this new Sigma blush. This is in Sunset Kiss. We do have some of Dollface on. It's so pretty, but I could use a little more blush, so I'm just gonna do it. Oh, it was the right decision. It made the right decision. So let's go put on something illegal in some areas, but very beautiful, and we'll be right back. So I'm back, I look incredible, but you know, that wasn't like at stake or anything. I just wanted to mention too, like, you know, I realized that of all the people affected by a bill that restricts drag, as a rich, famous, white drag queen, I'm probably gonna be the least affected. I understand that, which is what makes this so upsetting. It's upsetting that performers of drag on a local level, people who are queer, trans, expressions of gender in any way, that's gonna be where we see acts of violence, acts of discrimination. It has so little to do with us as drag performers. That's what makes it really sad. It makes me feel sad. It makes me feel very sad. But today's not about being sad. It's about drag. And look how beautiful I look. Look it, beautiful. This turned out really, really pretty. And I wanna say before we wrap up too, I mean, on a cellular local level, the best thing you can do right now is talk to people about this. If you're straight or you've ever seen a drag show, if you are even halfway okay with drag, just talk about it. Go see a drag show, watch a YouTube video, go on a local level and hand some bitch $1. I mean, there's so much you can do at times where you feel like your hands are tied, because you might not have a fancy suit on and a microphone at like a state legislative level, but you as a human being and as a consumer, America's a capitalist place. You can go out with your dollar and you can use your dollar to say what you care about. And you can go care about drag queens down the street from you, at their bar. I mean, listen, when these gay bars get in trouble, and they will, when they get discriminated against, and they will, they're going to need to have a little cushion of funds to use for like legal things. I mean, anything you can do to support your community right now and be a part of it. Ask the drag queens how they feel. Tell them you love them and you're gonna come see them no matter what. I can't tell you what that would mean to someone right now. In addition to going out and supporting your local drag queens and queer spaces, you can also join me and some of your other favorite drag queens on May 7th for Drag Isn't Dangerous, a digital fundraiser, a nonprofit night of entertainment focused on raising money for charitable LGBTQIA causes, supporting out-of-work drag artists and transgender people. Get your tickets now at the link in my bio. I guess I just wanted to leave you guys with this. Drag is a very important, cool, cultural art form that's been with us forever. People expressing themselves in non-binary gender ways have been with us forever. People cross-dressing on TV and movies and on stage has been with us forever. It's not new. The only thing that's new is a level of corruption that allows underhanded scapegoating. That's where we are right now. I hope I can still come visit you all over the world. I'm departing to Australia to go do my Solid Pink Disco tour. I'm gonna not take it for granted. I'm gonna enjoy myself. If you get to see a drag show, enjoy it. Do not take it for granted. You never know. You never know. But I look great. I'm gonna go, I guess, fuck around in my house and feel my fantasy. But thank you guys for joining me today, and I will talk to you very soon. Goodbye.